Hello, I am Reagan McCauley from Corey Canine Massage. Welcome to today's interview. A little summary about me for those of you who don't know me. I am a mobile certified canine and feline massage therapist working in the Toronto area since 2013. I also offer distance Reiki to clients around the world. I started my business to help pets live healthier, happier lives by relieving physical and emotional pain and tension, thereby also relieving stress for fur baby mums and dads, boosting quality of life together for longer. You can find me at CoreyCanineMassage.com and on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as Corey Canine Massage's YouTube channel. Now, today I have with me animal wrangler and dog mom, Dana Hart, whose dogs work in the film and television industry here in Toronto. Welcome, Dana.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm sure a lot of people are very interested in the kind of job you have, but off the top, please tell me a little bit about yourself, generally speaking.
So I've loved dogs my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And I started because I got my dog Ice here. Ice, come here. Come here. Ice. Thank you. So I got Ice a few, like 8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And he was a bit of a problem. He needed a lot of work.
Okay.
And so I got a training.
Mm-hmm.
And then I trained dogs for a couple years. And I saw that there was an audition posted needed for animals for film work. And I auditioned with him and one of my other dogs, Parks. And
right.
Then I haven't left the industry since.
Well, okay. So do you refer to yourself as an animal wrangler?
Yes, I do. Because that's what I do full time is wrangle everything from bugs to bigger animals to peacocks and everything between.
All right. So not just your dogs. Not just your dogs.
No, I do all kinds of things.
That's terrific. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that at the very end, but in particular, I'm interested on this blog in dogs with jobs themselves. So not only your job, but the fact that your dogs have jobs in the film and television industry is particularly cool. So how does somebody, first of all, become an animal wrangler, and how does one get their dog, their pets involved in show business? How does one get an audition?
So to become an animal wrangler, you have to have at least some experience, and different people specialize in different things. So I specialize in dogs, but I'm able to work with other things, mostly because I'm not worried about, snakes, bugs, those kinds of things.
Right.
And and the way I got involved was doing the audition. And we do host audition events once a year normally. It's been a little bit delayed because of COVID, which everything has been. Right. But we do audition and see where everybody's at, and then we have goals and breeds in mind, and then we see how everybody's supposed to do.
What sorts of roles and productions have they? Like, I know you have different dogs working.
Yeah.
What sorts of roles and productions have they had experience with, and what have they performed in?
So my dogs have done a variety of things. So I have Ice is a lab mix. Yes. I have a Belgian Malinois. I have poodles, and I have a Havanese. So they all have different kind of roles because of the different looks that they have.
Of course, right.
Ice plays a lot of just family dog or a rescue or a mutt on the street, like those kinds of roles. Yeah. Just because that's his look. He looks like a regular dog.
Yeah.
And then my Malinois Parks, she plays everything from like police dog, military dog, junkyard dog looking terrifying, to a little girl's dog in some instances. The poodles very much when they get requests for a high maintenance looking dog.
Yeah.
Or if they specifically need poodles.
Right. And what about your Havanese?
And then my little Havanese, he does just a small dog role. So he looks like a general small dog because he's kind of in a cute little clip where he's like a general dog. And I got him so that I had a small dog to do film work with.
What might a day of training with your dogs look like? Like how much time do they need to prepare? If they know about a particular role, or you know about a particular role in advance, and what's involved overall in their end of the job in preparation?
So preparation, it's a lot, because for film, the most important things that they need to know is a good solid stay and solid socialization where they're able to function and be comfortable in new environments. Mm-hmm. And then, so once they have their basic foundation, it's just maintenance that we're doing, is just making sure that they're able to continue to do the thing they've been taught.
Right.
But the first year that I have them is a lot of just training the new behaviors. Mm-hmm. And then also doing, like, not just obedience. We do a lot of films, like going to a target, putting their head down, because productions ask a lot about dogs looking sleepy or tired or sick, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute when they just put their head down on somebody's lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Or they look like they're sleeping and then they get woken up by something.
Right. What else do they have to be trained? What other kinds of things do they need to learn to do often?
So the biggest thing is the stays, and then it's going to targets. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people ask for dogs to bark on command, because they like that the dog has a voice and they talk to the actors.
Right.
And then sometimes you get requests, like I did a movie recently, and you had to grab a book and bring it to an actor during the scene.
Your dogs have done like television, like commercials, episodes, in Netflix or Apple TV, as well as feature films and photo shoots. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. They enjoy it.
They really love it, especially when I have a house with 6 dogs. They really enjoy a day out on the road, and a day where they get all the attention from everybody on set, from me. And it also sometimes requires a lot of additional training, because we're working so hard to meet a certain, to get a certain task down for a role.
Gotcha. Right. That makes sense. So yes, yeah, I could definitely see how dogs would enjoy that extra attention and stimulation too. Like good for the brain.
And they love that they get treats all day.
Of course. And yes, good for the tummy. The tummy and the taste buds. Yes. This appeal to many dogs, I'm sure. Now, what would you say would be different between a photo shoot versus something on video, as far as more prep, less prep, or just different on set? I mean, obviously, a photo shoot is still, but but on their end, what makes it different?
I find the biggest difference is being able to actually talk to the animal kind of throughout a photo shoot, because a lot of time production, they're recording sound. So you either have to have a cue before the actors are doing their lines, or you have to be able to silently cue your dog.
Right.
But photo shoots, you can talk to them the whole time because there's no sound being recorded.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Do you find that they have a preference, like any of your dogs, for photo shoots versus videos, or even something like commercials or music videos, something shorter versus something more meaty, like a feature film or episodes?
I think the dogs aren't as they don't really notice the difference as much as I do.
What do you?
They're having fun regardless.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Personally, I prefer something that's more challenging than just a stay, because it's more fun for me to train, more fun for me to get the dog to do it. But I definitely do appreciate a good photo shoot that makes easy day for us.
Yeah. Bit of a break maybe, and not worrying about the sound, as you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice and easy. They know the stay is the easiest part of it. Because sometimes on set, it's a lot of managing expectations and letting know what's reasonable for a dog to do and what isn't. And that could be whether it's safety or whether it's, we need the dog to do 3 things, but you talk to the dog and you're hiding in the corner. And then I have to look what's possible and what isn't.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, no, it must be funny sometimes what people are hoping for from a dog, but
Yeah. Sometimes they don't understand the anatomy of a dog, so it
yeah.
makes it hard.
Okay, yeah, interesting. All right. Now you mentioned safety. What kinds of safety protocols are there actually on a set protecting the animals?
For sure. So there's lots of safety measures in place. Normally, every time there's an animal on set, every member of the crew gets a copy of kind of all the rules regarding animals on set.
Mm-hmm.
And also, a lot of sets, especially if they are a little bit higher budget, have either a movie animals protected representative there, or they have an American Humane representative there, and
Right.
they're there to either sign off if everything's safe or it isn't, and that the animal gets adequate rest and adequate rewards and adequate water and breaks and all of that.
Right. Right.
And then if they're not there, I'm pretty much doing that, and that's totally me. But sometimes it's just good to have some official to be able to say whether something's safe or not.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What are some situations that are potentially dangerous or that need to be carefully assessed on a set with animals?
One of the things is just making sure that if, say, you want a dog to from A to B, that it's adequate padding or it's not too high up.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the other things that we look out for is the temperature outside to make sure that the dog's not overheating or getting too cold.
Right. Right. Gotcha. Okay, I've got my little dog here. She's getting a little red. Here we go. Hello. She wants to know more. All right. Yeah, no, temperature makes a lot of sense. And I assume weather as well, if you're outside, anything like that.
Yes, because we film all year round.
Oh, winter. Oh,
oh yes. We did a show for several months a few winters ago, and it was chilly.
yes, it would be. Where was that shoot?
That was it partially filmed in the TA and partially near London.
London, okay. Which, yeah, southwestern Ontario can get sometimes
in
the winter. Oh yes, your dogs have worked together sometimes, like on the music video you sent me. So how is that? Is that fun for them when they know some of the dogs already?
It's a lot of fun. That music video was it was a very long day, but it was so much fun. The con was the dogs were throwing a party.
Oh yes, yeah. So they were enjoying the partying while
the
party, yeah.
And it's great because my partner also knows how to train dogs, so she's able to come along with me and help out handle if I have multiple of mice.
Very cool. Okay, and obviously sometimes your dogs have worked alone, and they've had to work obviously with other animals too that they don't know.
Yes.
Is that particularly difficult or meh?
So it really depends on the request is from and all which animals you have working together. I work for a company called Toronto Animal Wranglers, so they're the ones that cast the animals and that have a full roster of animals, and they make sure that any animals that are working together are compatible. Right. And if necessary, we're able to get the dogs together beforehand to make sure they get along and make sure that they can focus around each other.
Good.
But most of the dogs we work with have the appropriate training to be able to work around other animals.
That makes sense. Have your dogs ever had to work with animals other than dogs?
Yes. Ice has been on set with a cat before.
Okay.
And he loves cats. Luckily, his previous owner had a cat, so he's totally great with cats.
Cool.
I'm allergic, so I don't have any, but he's great with them.
Okay. Good to know. No, you yourself have worked with more exotic animals and bugs, you said, and snakes.
Bugs, cats, rodents, reptiles. We do a lot of fun stuff.
Very cool. What sorts of any particular jobs and roles for those guys that stick out in your mind?
I'm very lucky that Toronto Animal Wranglers gets a lot of the TELUS commercials. So I get to work with lots of fun things.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes, I'm sure most people have seen at least a few of those commercials. They're absolutely adorable. So that's
They're so
cool.
much fun.
So, like chameleons? Have you,
I didn't personally work with those, but I had worked with some of the geckos that were on set.
how are they?
And don't really have, they're not trained like dogs.
No.
So it's a lot of understanding their behavior and see how to get them to perform what production is asking.
Right.
Like, yeah, like if you need them to go from one to another, you place them down and pretty much cross your fingers and hope this.
Yeah. I wonder if there's sometimes do you ever have to lure them or anything? Is there a way to, or I know that
sometimes you can lure with food, but it really depends on the animal. Not all of them are tongue trained, so they're kind of like, it's weird. I'm on a white background. I'm not really hungry in this environment, but I'm cool to hang out. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand that it's pretty limited what they can do. I mentioned to you before that I worked on Once Upon a Hamster this was back in 1997, season 3 as an animal wrangler. So that's like hamsters and guinea pigs and rats and frogs even, and a bunny and all sorts of things. So that was very odd and quite a learning curve in trying to find creative ways to get them to do some things.
Yes.
Particularly,
it takes a lot of things thought.
Yes, yeah, and for Hammy Hamster and like feeding him a little bit of peanut butter or lettuce for GP the guinea pig to make them look like they're talking because they all have voiceovers and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, but also very challenging. Anyway, so back to your dog.
Yeah. It's a lot of problem solving. That's my job, is just a lot of problem solving.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Let's talk about some individual productions that you sent me some information about for photo shoot. There was the this photo shoot for the Bay. That is it Georgette that did that, and
Georgette and Ollie or Oliver. There was also some video for that, but there was a photo side as well. They had so much fun that day.
Yeah,
they got to hang out with other dogs, and they got to get lots of treats, and they both their moms there, so they had a lot of fun.
What more do you need? And there was also, they do some volunteer stuff for like the Dave Thomas Foundation and kids they've done before. Is that your dogs, I mean?
Yes. So Sick Kids, it was a volunteer opportunity that we did. It was probably one of the first jobs that my dogs got to do. Cool. And it was an overnight shoot. And I think there were at least 20 dogs there. And it was a crazy production because it was the middle of the night, so everybody's tired. But they all just really had to line up in an alleyway and look pretty cool. Right. And it was great because my dog, Dolly Parton, who recently passed away a couple of years ago, that was the only production she got to do, but I'm really happy she got to do something.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, cool. Now, I was going to ask you about Ice working in Romance in the Wilds. Looks like he was fairly involved in that one.
Yeah.
Full-length feature.
Yes, it was so much fun to work on that. Yeah. So there's quite a lot he had to do. So the first day, and just so you know, Ice is about 60 to 65 pounds. Okay. And the first day, the actor had to carry him way over 100 feet. Pretty much all day, and towards a helicopter that was on but not like lifting, and through some fake rain. So it was a lot, and Ice doesn't really like getting wet, but he was like, I'll do it for the treats. He's not often carried because I don't have a need to, and he did it all day, and never seen a helicopter before, and he didn't even blink.
Wow. That's terrific.
Yeah, and that's just day one. And I think we had about 6 days on that production.
Very cool. Okay. And that was a
It was
lot of it
lots of
outside?
A lot of it was outdoors because the premise, I don't want to give too much away, but they're running away from a forest fire and the dog is there with them.
Okay. All right.
So a lot of it is them going through the forest together.
Right.
And he's winning over the lead actor because he belongs to the lead actress in the movie.
Right. Gotcha. Does he sort of help them get together too a little bit, sort of?
That's the kind of part of it.
Yeah.
And there's a small part of the movie where actually Malinois Parks gets to have she's an flashback in the movie.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. And it was great because he got a chance to really bond with the actors. Because a lot of productions are one day. So it's in and out, you're pretty quick. But doing a few weeks, he really got to know them and wanted to go hang out with them. He was upset when he wasn't in the scenes. He had to watch from afar.
Aw. No, me, I want to be in there. Oh, so
exactly.
cute.
He's like, no, you need me for the kissing scene. Don't worry.
Well, what about the feature Single All the Way?
That was such a great experience.
Yeah.
Being in the LGBTQ plus community myself was a great opportunity because it was the first gay rom-com on Netflix. That was a Christmas movie.
Right. Nice.
So that was awesome.
Yeah.
And the actors were absolutely fabulous to work with. And it was I got to go all the way to Montreal for this.
Nice.
And it was so much fun. It was only one day of shooting. And we had practiced a lot. We had to send audition videos in. We had to send lots of pictures of ice in because they want to put his pictures kind of all over the house for decoration.
Right.
And it was a lot of prep. Let me show you what I got to keep as a souvenir from that. So I got to keep the book from the movie.
Oh, and that's adorable.
It's all illustrated with him in it.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's such a great souvenir.
Oh, how did it figure into the film?
So the whole concept is that they're about to go on vacation. And the reason the ISIS owner in the movie has the money for it is because he wrote a children's book based on his dog.
Okay. Excellent.
And so Ice fetches the book and brings it to the owner when he mentions the book.
Okay. Oh, there, that shot. Okay. Very cool. Oh, and also he's in the series Ghostwriter on Apple TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on Apple TV and it's a kids show.
Yes.
And it's a super cute show where characters out of books or either the characters go in the books. And it's a lot of fun. Oh,
cool. Which is it a one episode he's in or several or?
It's 2 episodes because they made it like 2 parts.
Right.
Okay. So it's like 1 episode but cut into 2.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun. He gets to play a dog that Mowgli from the Jungle Book releases from the shelter because Mowgli didn't want the animals in the shelter.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Very cool. What do you have to do?
Yeah. So in that one, there was, I think, 5 or 6 dogs in that show, plus a cat. So it was quite busy and playing with kids. And one of the scenes we had prepped for asked for him to be able to skateboard back and forth in the room. But with production, they tend to change things last minute. And so they no longer needed him to skateboard. So I had to spend about 5 minutes teaching him how to run into the room, regardless of how many dogs and children are in the room, get up on the correct couch with the camera following him.
Wow. Okay.
And got it done. I had to say, okay, I need a minute to teach him because we really worked on the skateboarding.
Right. Oops. That is another thing with productions, eh? All the changes that happen at the last second.
Yes, because there's lots of creative ideas that come up that work better for the production and work better for what they're filming.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to have my dogs prepped with all kinds of skills.
Right.
Because you never know what to expect.
Yeah, that I think Parks was in, or Park was in, Jupiter's Legacy and C.
Yes. So in Jupiter's Legacy, she's a very small role, but she's in a flashback. And Parks, being a super sweet dog, got to be a very mean, scary dog.
Mhm.
And she was basically guarding a house from the main character.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, and
Yeah.
because she's Malinois, she does get the occasional scary role, right? Like
Yes.
also
That's her.
in that commercial you showed me, I think, was it for Budweiser?
Yes. She got
Yeah.
to be the mean dog.
She's doing her growly face. And C, she's in C, the
Yes.
Apple TV series.
Yes. So the show is apocalyptic,
Mhm.
and everybody that's, or pretty much everybody, is blind due to
Yes.
these that kind of went through them.
Mhm.
And she actually gets to be one of the guards dogs, and she gets served a tongue from Lean in the show.
Oh, wow. So is that just the
It
one
was not
episode?
a real, pardon?
Was it just the one episode or?
So we did film multiple scenes,
Mhm.
but that's the only one that made the cut. Parks has done a music video with Jessie Reyes. She did that other music video that I have Ice, Parks, and Georgette in.
Yes.
For it's called A Few Good Stories by Brett Kissel.
Right.
I can't, there's so many things that I'm waiting to come out to be able to share with you guys.
Right.
Because there's so much that I'm just waiting. I'm like, I check on the internet every day. Like, is it coming out? Is it coming out?
Right.
But he also did what we talked about earlier, the Dave Thomas Foundation, which was a video to help kids. I was videos and pictures to help kids get adopted.
Right.
And the whole campaign was such a great idea for promotion, is that they had the ants at the forefront,
Right.
and so that people would click it, and then they're like, oh no, it's the kids. It's not just about the animals.
Right. Clever.
So she got to get hugged by a little girl, and it was so cute.
So obviously she's good with that kind of thing though. So like a lot of dogs can be reactive to that kind of thing, and she's trained well for.
Oh yeah, she loves kids so much. She'd cuddle them all day.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. So Ollie, for a Harry's Razor commercial. So Ollie's a show dog. So he was cut into the Continental cut, which is a show cut for a poodle.
Oh.
And being in a razor commercial, they look like they've been shaved by a razor on their legs.
Yes.
And in that commercial, and fortunately I wasn't able to be with him that day because I had Ice and Parks on another set that day.
Oh wow.
So my employer got to take Ollie that day. And it was just a very fan holding him and walking down like a little alleyway.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, and then like I think a month before that, my boss was like, "Hey, can somebody carry your poodle like this?" And I was like, "I'll try." And I held him, and he's like, "I'm like, yep, he can do it."
And the PC commercial with Ice stealing a little bit of food, I think.
Yes, it was a great day for him, and it was just a nice short time for us.
Right.
But it was just stealing beef, some like prime roast beef off a counter for the commercial.
And did he get to keep it each time, like, or?
So we do limit it just so that it's not too much stomach upset for the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get a few slices.
But yeah, obviously that would be fun for him.
Oh yeah, I think that might have been his favorite day.
Oh, it's so funny how food motivated most dogs are.
Oh yeah. I recently got Mac, who's my little Havanese.
Right.
I just got him a little bit before Halloween of last year.
Okay.
And I really wanted a little dog for film work because I think we had kind of a lack in the current roster we have, just because it's hard to find little dogs that are very well trained. And we definitely have quite a few on our roster, but I wanted my own because I didn't have that to do from home. Like I have the mutt. I have the scary dog. I wanted the little one.
Right.
So not long after I got him, I got asked if he could walk on his hind legs. And that's something he offered naturally. He would just kind of walk up to me on his hind legs.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. And so, and I just let them know, I'm like, currently he's not going to be able to do it from 20 feet away, stand up and walk to me, just because I've only had him for a month. But I was able to lure him. It was on a green screen. So they were able to cut me out of it. And he did very well environment. I wasn't worried about him, doing tricks and doing all kinds of things. But he was able to do his stays, and he was able to do his little walk, his hind legs in front of a whole crew and actors and everybody. What I would like to share is that I think a lot of people think every single pet can be in the film industry, and it really isn't that easy, just because not everybody has the time in their schedule to be able to accommodate film, because film is very last minute.
Yes.
And it also does take a lot of socialization and a lot of training, because a lot of people's dogs are fantastic in their own homes and familiar places, but sometimes they might have trouble in a very busy place, like a film set, where there's sometimes 500 background actors plus a whole crew of hundreds of people.
Yeah. Many distractions or things to frighten them, basically. I assume that if you've got a dog or an animal with any sort of anxiety, it's probably a no-go, even if they are well trained. Yeah.
Yes, because the environmentals are hard on set, and you can't control what other people are doing, because there's light, sometimes there's camera flashes, there's big sounds, because on a lot of sets there's construction because they're continuing to build new sets.
Right.
And just there's different lines, people yell during their line, maybe somebody's crying, and need to be able to deal with all kinds of chaotic stuff.
Yeah, and not react, basically.
Exactly, and just act like no big deal. And if they do react, it's fine if they're kind of like surprised by something, but as long as they're able to bounce back, that's what's important. I think a lot of people don't understand that the animals are treated so well, even though that they're working dogs. Mm-hmm. Because they do work very hard, but they're also hilarious. Like, I have videos of my dogs playing on set and having a great time and getting love from everybody. And they're there to have fun and to work, because the dogs would not at all do this if they weren't having fun or they weren't getting rewarded. Yeah. Because they really do enjoy it. And if they don't do it, you'll definitely be able to see it on camera.
Right. Yes, and you want that. You want it to translate. Yeah.
Ouch. Oh. So pretty. High five. And then head down.
No.
Good boy.
Aww.
And then I can get a bark for you.
Okay.
It's not your turn yet. Ice, ready? Of course, they're doing it together. Get it. Stay. Thank you. Good boy. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from there, but there is right here.
Okay. Yep. Go to your mark.
Yes, exactly. Target. Stay. Good boy. Sit. Stay. All right, ready for, and you can see she's very sweet right now, food, so she's not in a cuddly mood. Yeah. But she knows how to look scary. Sit. Stay. Good. A few times she does a little bit of a growl on command as well. And it's funny because they always dub over her voice because she sounds a bit squeaky and not scary.
Right. Okay.
Hold down.
Aw.
Bang. Yep. Bang. Stay.
Bang.
Yeah, she's very good playing dead. Here. First. Set. Target. Stand. Yeah. And sometimes she'll have to a target as well, not just walking away from me.
Right.
Target. Stay. Down. Ice target. Stay. Stay. Stop. Stay. 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 Target. Stay. Stay. Target. Stay. Open it up. Up, drop. Good. So you can find us on Instagram at My Acting Crew, and it's my.acting.crew.
Mhm.
And I post what we're doing there, what we're doing. Most of the time it's just cute pictures of dogs. But sometimes it's training videos and kind of new behaviors that we're learning.
Cool, cool. And it'll be fun for people to follow along for the cute pictures. But yeah, like it's interesting the work that your dogs do and the different projects that it's always changing and they'll always have to be doing different sorts of things. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's lots of fun.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today and letting Parks and Ice show me a few things. Thank you. It's been great.
No problem.